I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association, which is the special district association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there is a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us at the station 970-677-4119. If you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Thursday program, which is aired at noon, 2 and 6 p.m., and it is also available on demand online at both our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. This is the program for February 6, 2020, DCTV's News at Noon. From the Journal's coverage of the Bulldogs basketball evening last Tuesday, everyone had eyes on Dove Creek's Grace Hatfield as she approached her 1,000th score. Photo Ian McLaren. For almost as long as she can remember, Dove Creek High School junior Grace Hatfield has kept a basketball within arm's reach. As an elementary school student, she loudly cheered for her hometown Bulldogs from the stands, and as a middle school sports star, she dreamed of one day leading her school's high school team to a state title. Now midway through her third high school season, after knocking down a free throw during a home game against Dolores High School on Tuesday, the talented junior has accomplished a feat that very few players can claim. She has scored 1,000 points in her high school career. Quote, "I've been wanting this forever," Hatfield said. "I go to the gym almost every single day. On the weekends, if there is no practice, I go to the gym. On Sundays, I go to the gym. I never get a day off. I'm always working." While Hatfield's 1,000th career point stole her hometown's headlines on Tuesday night, the seeds of the junior's monumental accomplishment were sown more than a decade ago thanks to a family that loved nothing more than competing on the hardwood. Chief among Hatfield's family members who adored putting up shots was her father, John Hatfield, who currently serves as an assistant coach on the Dove Creek girls basketball team and has been a longtime student of the game. From almost the time that she could walk, John would take Grace and her older sister, Marissa, to the gym and assist them in perfecting their ball handling, shooting, and defensive acumen. Quote, "My dad showed me almost every move that I know," Grace said. "My dad has worked me and pushed me through everything." While Grace's father served as her teacher, Marissa, who Grace described as, quote, her idol, served as her partner in competition as the two spent hours playing horse and squaring off in one-on-one competitions. Former Los Angeles Lakers great Kobe Bryant also played a role in helping Grace perfect her game, as the Dove Creek star would spend much of her free time watching clips of the NBA star in action and mimicking his moves. After starring on her Pee Wee teams and making a name for herself as a middle school scoring machine, Hatfield began her career at Dove Creek High School prior to the 2017-18 season and immediately made an impact. Playing alongside several upperclassmen during her freshman year, Hatfield averaged 11.8 points per game and 7.4 rebounds and enjoyed her first breakout offensive performance when she scored 23 points during a victory over Ridgeway. Looking to build on her freshman season, Hatfield returned to the hardwood as a sophomore and averaged a whopping 22.5 points, 0.5 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, and 5.9 steals per game, while establishing herself as one of the best players in the San Juan Basin League. Quote, "I wouldn't have been able to do it without my team, and that's for sure," Hatfield said. "Growing up here, going to preschool here, my teammates have been with me all along." Heading into the summer before junior season with seemingly little room to grow offensively, Hatfield returned to the gym and added a deft three-point shot to her already rich arsenal while focusing on improving her overall strength. An absolute force on both sides of the court this season, Hatfield has averaged 20.1 points during her team's first 14 games, while also averaging 6.9 rebounds per game and 4.2 steals during the same span. Heading into Tuesday night's home matchup against Dolores with 995 career points, Hatfield tried to remain calm despite knowing that local basketball immortality was just 5 points away. After scoring her second of two layups early in the first quarter, Hatfield intercepted a pass deep in the backcourt and immediately attacked the rim and drew a foul. Stepping to the free throw line, as she has done countless times in her storied career, Hatfield calmly knocked down her first free throw while fans in the packed gymnasium held up signs bearing the number 1,000 and roared. The community in Dove Creek is amazing, Hatfield said. All the fans that come, there were a lot of people tonight. All of their support. I love the support that our community provides, end quote. Now, approximately 3 weeks away from the beginning of her team's postseason, Hatfield is glad to have her 1,000-point milestone behind her and hopeful that she can help lead her team back to the Class 1A state tournament for the first time since 2014. The Dove Creek junior, who enjoys reading literature and writing, is also hoping to one day suit up at the college level, possibly Fort Lewis College, Colorado Mesa University, or Hastings College in Nebraska. Prior to taking her talents to the next level, however, Hatfield plans to enjoy her final year and a half of high school while playing in front of elementary school students and middle school students in the Dove Creek community who hope to one day follow in her footsteps. Quote, "I would tell them to hit the gym all the time and set your dreams high," said Hatfield on what advice she would give to local youngsters. Quote, "If you have a dream, just keep working and making it a reality." That goes for everyone. And communication news from the publisher of the San Juan Record in Monticello, Utah. In his article entitled "Dust in the Wind," Bill Boyle writes, quote, "Thank you to our readers for your support of the San Juan Record. The news industry is in a state of flux, and we are also making significant changes. The San Juan Record is very excited to announce the purchase of Red Rock Radio, a premier radio station in the Four Corners area at 92.7 on the FM dial. From Abajo Peak, Red Rock broadcasts a signal that is clearly heard throughout San Juan County and beyond, from Shiprock, New Mexico to Green River, Utah, and along major portions of Interstate 70. Translator stations are at 96.1 FM in Cortez and 101.5 FM in Moab. Licensing approval of the transition from the Red Rock Radio Group to the San Juan Record will take several months. In addition, we are in the process of greatly expanding our reach. We are introducing a new website and are expanding our online and social media coverage. Look for a bold new approach to the San Juan Record as we implement our 2020 vision for the future. We also implement an advertising rate increase for the newspaper, the first increase in nearly 5 years. Like everyone, our expenses are continuing to increase. In addition, we had to absorb a significant price increase in September after our longtime printer summarily canceled their printing relationship with scores of newspapers and publications. A side note, this affected the Dove Creek Press as well. While we are very pleased with our new printing relationship with the Gannett Press in Farmington, New Mexico, the price increase was significant. Despite the increase, our advertising rates continue to be very competitive with other newspapers and advertising mediums. We offer a great value for your advertising dollar. In addition, we are charging for obituaries. It was very difficult to make this decision despite the fact that most newspapers have charged for obituaries for decades now. Thank you for your patience. As we implement these exciting new changes, the news industry is constantly changing, and this will help us keep pace with the major developments. Please feel free to call, email, or drop in if you would like to visit about these matters. Mr. Boyle can be reached at 435-587-2277, or you can email them at sjrnews@frontiernet.net. And Colorado politics from Complete Colorado Online with an image by republicbroadcasting.org. A bill introduced in the Colorado House of Representatives on Monday would repeal the controversial red flag law passed in 2019 and, according to its sponsors and supporters, replace it with clearer, more defined language in identifying people considered to be an extreme risk to themselves or others. Quote, "This addresses what we've been asking for from the beginning," said Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams. That is the mental health aspect. It's not an overly complicated issue to tackle, just one no one wants to. Reams has been a strong vocal opponent of the law that allows a judge to remove firearms via a temporary order from anyone deemed to be a risk to themselves or others by a judge. The, quote, Extreme Risk Protection Orders bill passed last year and was signed into law by Governor Jared Polis. It took effect January 1st. It only took a few days after it became effective before judges began issuing the order that Reams believes to be unconstitutional. Reams has vowed to sit in his own jail rather than enforce the law. Quote, "The bill is so riddled with constitutional problems that it makes it hard to understand how professional lawmakers could have constructed something so terrible," Reams said in a previous interview with Complete Colorado, adding the bill, quote, "raises some serious concerns about due process in that a person can have their guns taken away and their rights violated, all without ever having a chance to appear in an initial court hearing and cross-examine accusers and witnesses in person. In legal terms, this is an ex parte hearing. In addition to repealing language from the law that allows the firearms confiscation, House Bill 20-1271, HB 1271, changes the standards by which a law enforcement officer can place someone on an involuntary 72-hour mental health hold. The law currently says the person must be in, quote, imminent danger. The bill's prime sponsor, Representative Lori Sain, Republican from Dacono, said that the level of burden ties officers' hands. HB 1271 replaces the word imminent with, quote, extreme risk, and defines extreme risk as, quote, a credible and exigent threat of danger to themselves or others through actionable threats of violence or death as a result of a current mental health state, end quote. Quote, someone would have to say, I'm going to jump off this roof right this minute, Sain said. Now it opens the door so that it's a bit more general, a substantial likelihood that the threat is real. This is the same language that Reams, who worked with Sain on bringing this bill forward, attempted to put forth last session, but was not supported by Democrats, he said. Quote, let's fix the mental health part, Reams said. Now that we've seen how the red flag bill can be abused, it makes even more sense now. We're dealing with the person. Sain added that it is much more compassionate to focus on getting people with mental health issues the help they need instead of arbitrarily taking weapons away from people who may be targets of revenge from those abusing the law. We need to remove the person from the circumstances, not the weapons from the person, Sain said. Taking away a person's constitutional rights causes far more problems than it helps. Reams and Sain agreed that although they are not optimistic the repeal will pass the Democrat-held legislature, they are hopeful the mental health piece will survive. The bill was assigned to the House Judiciary Committee. It does not have a committee hearing date yet set as of yet. Senator John Cook, Republican from Greeley, and Jim Smallwood, Republican from Douglas County, are sponsoring the bill in the Senate. And now let's take a look at our local weather. Today, partly sunny skies with a high near 34 degrees. Northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour become northwest in the afternoon and bring down that high temperature a little bit with some of the wind chills. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 21 degrees. Again, northwest winds around 5 miles an hour become east after midnight. Then we start to warm up a bit for Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 39 degrees. Northeast winds, though, remain at 5 to 10 miles an hour and become west-northwest in the afternoon. Friday night, mostly clear and a low around 21 degrees. North-northwest winds remain around 5 miles an hour, becoming east after midnight. A nice weekend start gets us started on Saturday, away from some of those frigid temperatures we've been experiencing. Saturday, expect a sunny day with a high near 43. East-northeast winds remain in place, though, at 5 to 15 miles an hour and finally become south by the afternoon. Then Saturday night, partly cloudy and a low around 24. But wait, we still are in winter and need the moisture as the wind has wicked a lot of the top wetness out of the snow. Sunday looks like a 30% chance for snow showers in the afternoon. Partly sunny the rest of the day with a high near 40 degrees. Sunday night remains with a chance for snow showers, mostly cloudy, and a low around 25. And again for Monday, a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, and a high near 40 on the day. Monday night remains for a chance of snow showers and partly cloudy with a low around 24. And rack it up again for Tuesday with a chance for snow showers, partly sunny and a high near 40. Tuesday night, a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, and a low around 22. And through the weekend, you should be able to see more clearly on how much and where the snow or precipitation will hit into next week as those projections become more defined. Hopefully a significant amount will hit our mountains to increase our snowpack there. As you can see from this SnowTel graphic, we have moved down to 106% of average, and the USDA drought level is still remaining at a D1 stage, which is pretty good. And now, back to the news. The Norwood News and Telluride Daily Planet covered an update on the double homicide that happened in Norwood from 2017. The trial started last week, and here are some of the highlights, if you can call them that. Frederick Alexander Alec Blair was anorexic thin, deeply in debt, and under investigation for drug trafficking at the time he invited Medina Sayus and her small group of spiritual followers onto his property in Norwood in May of 2017. Corey Sutherland, the father of Nashika Bramble's unborn child, assaulted Bramble's daughter, Michaela Roberts, before he left Blair's Norwood farm. On Blair's property, Sayus at one point instructed Blair to meditate on his attachment to pancakes. After being incarcerated, Blair was caught on video orchestrating a prescription drug distribution ring while he was in custody at the San Miguel County Jail. Bramble has been exhibiting violent and delusional behavior while in custody, at one point stating that she believed her socks and pants were trying to kill her. These are a few of the revelations that have come out so far during the third week of Medina Sayas' murder trial in Gunnison. Sayas of Haiti faces 2 charges of first-degree murder in the deaths of sisters Michaela Victoria Roberts, age 10, and Hannah Elizabeth Rosalina Marshall, age 8, whose remains were found in a tarp-covered car sealed with duct tape on Blair's farm near Norwood on September 8th of 2017. The trial is being held in Gunnison District Court. The start of the trial proceedings were dominated by direct and cross-examination of San Miguel County Sheriff's Officer Investigator Dan Kovalt, who described in detail how he conducted the investigation into Michaela and Hannah's deaths, from the initial grid search of the property to the fly pupa and garbage he found in the car alongside the girls' remains, to the crystals, pendants, and other random items that were buried in several holes on Blair's farm, to the hundreds of pounds of dried food that was stashed in plastic containers in various places around the property. Kovalt was back on the stand the next morning and endured a continuing barrage of cross-examination from Crane, who methodically attempted to dismantle the credibility of both Blair and Bramble while shifting blame for the girls' deaths away from his client. Crane primarily dug into a previous investigation Kovalt was conducting into Blair before the double homicide took place on his farm. Kovalt, who was San Miguel County's marijuana compliance officer at that time, was tasked with keeping tabs on marijuana growers in the county and ensuring that they were following the state guidelines. He suspected that Blair was cultivating more marijuana than his permit allowed and illegally selling some of that on the black market. Kovalt was deep into this drug trafficking investigation by the time Blair invited Sayas and her small group of followers onto his property in 2017. After the bodies of the 2 girls were discovered in September of that year, the investigation into their deaths began to dovetail with Kovalt's previous investigation, as Crane revealed through his line of questioning. Kovalt said he was able to get a search warrant for Blair's storage unit, where he found a huge supply of grow lights for an indoor grow operation, along with a plethora of documentation, including a business plan Blair had developed for selling his cannabis. He also found a laptop computer and some thumb drives, but was not able to obtain a warrant to investigate the content of these items. The plot thickened as Crane handed Kovalt a photograph of a document that he had recovered during the grid search of Blair's property, conducted after the girls' bodies were discovered. It was a photo of a FedEx envelope addressed in messy handwriting from F.A. Blair to someone named S. Williams in Fort White, Florida, a community just north of Gainesville where Blair is from. Another envelope, also from F.A. Blair, was addressed to the same S. Williams in Mountain Village, and another one to S. Williams in Santa Cruz, California. Through another line of questioning Monday, Crane had already established that when Bramble left Blair's property after her girls died, she had used the alias Shanta Williams when seeking assistance from the San Miguel County Resource Center. But the coincidence of the names, the S. Williams on the mysterious packages and Bramble's alias Shanta Williams, hung heavy in the air, suggesting that perhaps Blair and Bramble knew each other before Blair randomly encountered the group in Grand Junction in May of 2017. Kovalt later testified that he was instructed by the district attorney's office to drop his investigation into Blair's drug trafficking after Blair agreed to cooperate with investigators in the double homicide. Crane then shifted his attention to Bramble's violent behavior, both before and after she was incarcerated in San Miguel County. He referred to a statement from a previous witness, Caleb McNeil, in which McNeil stated that he had seen Bramble subject her daughters to corporal punishment on Blair's property, and also asked Kovalt about some letters and statements from a woman named Yvonne Scott, a, quote, motherly figure to Bramble, who claimed that Bramble had abused the 2 girls while she was in Florida as well, before joining Sayas and Archer in 2015. Quote, while Miss Bramble was in jail in San Miguel County, was she threatening to kill people, Crane asked Kovalt. Yes, Kovalt said. She had outbursts in jail and court? Yes. In jail, she has been seen punching walls, ? I just became aware of that, Kovalt said. Blair then took the stand on Tuesday afternoon, and throughout that afternoon, the jury heard Blair's version of the story of how Sayas and the rest of the group came to stay on his property, how he quickly got sucked into the group's cult-like social structure and doomsday religious beliefs, and willingly stood by as Sayas banished the girls to a trash-filled car, allegedly depriving them of food and water, where they eventually perished, and how he then helped to hide their bodies by covering the car with a tarp. Chief Deputy District Attorney Seth Ryan wrapped up his direct examination of Blair on Wednesday morning with a few pointed questions about Blair's dog, Lion, and Blair's sexual relations with Bramble. Quote, "Yesterday you stated you had sex with Nashika Bramble," Ryan asked. "Yes, twice." "Why?" Ryan asked. Blair paused and said, "Because I was told to." When asked by who, Blair replied, "Miss Sayas." Blair described how Bramble was the next group member to be banished from the group after Blair's friends rescued Lion, the dog, from the property. Blair recalled Sayas saying that Bramble, quote, "would have to leave the property or she would die like the girls did." "Did she say anything else?" Ryan asked. "Yes," Blair said. "The word abomination was used again." Crane concluded his cross-examination of Blair by echoing the very words with which Blair had described himself at his sentencing hearing last October, in which Blair referred to his, quote, "long-standing irresponsible behavior, pattern of instability, and long-standing arrogance." Throughout the takedown of her co-defendants this week, Sayas has appeared serene, composed, and at times bemused, often leaning back in her chair in a relaxed way to take it all in. The following afternoon, she listened quietly and intently to testimony from Diane Ella Peacock, a foster mother in Montrose who cared for Sayas' two daughters for about a year after Sayas was taken into custody. Peacock described how she comforted Sayas' older daughter late one night after the girl woke up from a nightmare shortly after being removed from the property in Norwood. According to Peacock, the girl recalled that Blair had, quote, punished her by putting live rats on her, and said she had seen Bramble get into the car with her deceased daughters and hold them after they died, leading the group to ostracize Bramble because, quote, she smelled bad, like dead bodies. Answering a written question from a juror about the girls' eating habits, Peacock stated that the night the girls arrived at her house, they each ate a dozen eggs because they were so hungry. The jury was released so attorneys would have time to review new evidence that may have to be presented on the following day. The prosecution was set to rest its case by last Friday, concluding with testimony from Colorado Bureau of Investigation Agent John Zamora and excerpts of a video of Sayas' intake interview conducted shortly after she was taken into custody in September of 2017. The outcome of the trial has yet to be released. And from the Grand Junction Sentinel report with a photo of the new BLM headquarters, the Bureau of Land Management has pulled about 8,700 acres from its upcoming Colorado oil and gas lease sale in March, including nearly 1,900 acres in Mesa County due to ongoing litigation. It has deferred offering the Mesa County acreage consisting of parcels southeast of Colburn and southeast of DeBeck due to a lawsuit challenging the BLM Grand Junction Field Office's new resources management plan. The remaining acreage the BLM is deferring from offering is in Jackson, Moffett, and Rio Blanco counties and involves greater sage-grouse habitat. The agency was forced to pull the acreage as a result of an injunction issued by a federal judge in Idaho in a lawsuit challenging amended greater sage-grouse management plans that the BLM adopted in northwest Colorado and in other states last year. Deferring acreage from sales means that the BLM could offer them in a later sale. With the deferrals, the BLM says it now plans to offer about 30,548 acres at its March 26 sale, all of it in Jackson and Los Animas counties. The BLM had announced its original plans for the March sale at the start of October. Environmentalists sued over the Grand Junction Field Office Management Plan a week or so later, and the injunction in the greater sage-grouse suit was issued October 16th. The suit involving the Grand Junction Plan accuses the BLM of failing to consider the climate change impacts of foreseeable oil and gas development under the plan based on the eventual combustion of the oil and gas produced. It also says the agency didn't look closely enough at cumulative climate impacts of the local plan when considered along with the BLM's nationwide oil and gas program, or consider management alternatives that would meaningfully limit oil and gas leasing and development. Federal court records show no apparent signs of any injunctions having been issued in the case. BLM spokeswoman Kate Miyamoto said that it was a BLM decision to defer offering the Mesa County parcels due to the ongoing suit. The situation involving the deferred parcels in greater sage-grouse habitat highlights a key difference between 2015 land management plans adopted in Colorado and other states under the Obama administration in an effort to keep the bird from requiring protection under the Endangered Species Act, and the plans that the Trump administration adopted. In Colorado, the Trump administration version opened about 350 square miles to leasing that was closed under the 2015 plan. Although the acreage the amended plan opened to leasing is subject to a restriction on surface development. In Dolores County, the Board of Commissioners are working with land management teams on a new Restore grant funding program to entice private landowners to work with the federal land managers on increasing sage grouse habitat in order to work towards keeping the bird off of the endangered species listing. According to the BOCC, currently the Dolores County baseline count on the birds spotted in our designated habitat areas is 0. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. February 8th, customize and print your own Valentine cards. It's the Letterpress Valentine's Day card class at 9 a.m. in Mancos. Take home 20 cards and envelope sets to send to friends and family. Become familiar with the art of letterpress printing by typesetting and printing one-of-a-kind card designs utilizing images and lead type from the historic archives of the Mancos Times. It's at the Mancos Times building. And you can check in with our local Dove Creek press office where they have a range of beautiful cards available, or you can customize any print job, perhaps printing out a photo of a loved one as a gift for the 14th. February 9th, the artist pop-up event will be held at Cultivating Sacred. That's in Dolores. Join their local artist for some unique shopping fun, find a special gift for a loved one, or just stop in and check out their gallery. It's this Sunday, February 9th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Dolores. And in the Jobs Department, the 2020 Census is recruiting for census takers, a paid part-time position that lasts approximately 6 to 8 weeks with an average of 20 hours per week. You're paid $16 per hour plus 57.5 cents a mile, including training. Hours are flexible, so it can be structured around work, school, or after hours or on weekends. The job is to ask a member of a household basic census questions. No questions are on immigration status, FYI. Census is hiring now through February, but the job doesn't start until March-April timeframe. The application is online, so you must have access to a computer. And by the way, you can go to the CSU Extension office or the library for that. And you must be over 18 years old and have access to a vehicle. Apparently have a driver's license too, I assume. Be a U.S. citizen or current green card holder, and travel will be in your county or farther if there is a need and the census taker is willing. Anyone wanting more information can contact Margaret Daves at the Dolores County Commissioner's Office, and that phone number is 970-677-2383. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is currently DCTV News at Noon, where you can also watch the program replay along with the news links and stories of local interest. And you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, contact us by email. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call us. It's 970-677-4119. Thank you for tuning in. News at Noon programs are broadcast Monday through Fridays with replays online on our YouTube channel or DCTV News at Noon on Facebook. And if you like the program, please like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the news program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.